And now when you go to pest control, and pest control at this stage, we have several pests that usually attack, and one of them is cutworm. We also have aphids, we have bollworms, we have diamondback moth, and also we have caterpillars. Those are the range, and also we have thrips. Those are the range of pests that usually attack this crop at this stage. It may start at this stage, it may start at an earlier stage. It is very important to be able to know about these pests so that you are able to control them from early on. And starting with the cutworm. It is called cutworm because it cuts the plant at the base of the plant. It may start even a day after transplanting, 2 days or 3 days. For pests, it is very important to do what we call scouting so that you are able to establish if the pest is there. We have some areas where it is experienced that immediately after transplanting, you find the cutworm coming in 2 or 3 days later, or maybe a day later. So with that experience, you can be able to come in with the requisite pesticide. But scouting is an aspect whereby you wait until the pests come, because once they come, you check every morning. Once you transplant, you check every morning. If you find 1 or 2 has been cut, you wait in the evening and then you spray the chemical. And we spray the chemical in the evening because it comes up in the cool of the day, in the evening, so that it can be able to work in a cool environment. Because during the day, remember the cutworm, which is the larval stage of night flying moths, you find the cutworm has a very tender skin, or the outer layer, and you find during the day the scorching sun can damage it, and also it hides because of the birds, and therefore it usually comes out during the cool of the evening, in the late evening, and also in the early morning. It comes, it feeds, it cuts the plant, and once it cuts the plant, it sucks the sap that oozes out of the roots. And therefore, once it does that, then the plant is dead because it cuts completely. And therefore, control, you do it in the late evening, on the early evening, so that by late evening, when the pest comes, then it finds the chemical is already potent, is already strong on the ground level, and the pest will be eliminated. We have what we call now the diamondback moth, DBM, and it is called diamondback moth because the adult of it, the wings are usually shaped like a diamond. And you find when you pass through a kale crop like this, you are going to find they are going to be jumping all over. And you find they can start attacking the plant even in the seedling stage, in this starting stage. And therefore, controlling it is very important. And to control the diamondback moth, here I'm going to include also the caterpillars and also the bollworms. I'm going to include them because these are the group of pests that we call chewing pests. And this chewing pest, you are going to see damage, damage on the leaves, because you are going to see holes that have been poked on the on the leaves, and they have caused physical damage. And here we have a few products that we can be able to use, and we have for the bollworm, for all of them, we have a product that has lambda, cyhalothrin, and also deltamethrin, and also cypermethrin. So active ingredient with those products with those active ingredients are very good for control of the mentioned pests. But we have an issue of the diamondback moth, which can be resistant. And here, if you have a huge attack of diamondback moth, we have products we call insect growth regulator, and such a product is a product with active ingredient lefenoron. And once you have luifeneron, it's going to eliminate, it's going to assist to break the resistance of the diamondback moth. And how it does, you find for pests, it usually moves from eggs, then eggs hatch, they go to larva stage, pupa stage, and then the adult stage. And you find what the insect growth regulator does, it usually alters some of the stages, especially during the attacks during the larva stage. And then during the pupa stage, the adult or the pupa stage will not be complete, such that you find the adult has one wing instead of having all the four. All the two wings, you find wings from one side didn't develop, and in so doing, that adult stage diamondback moth cannot be able to reproduce, and therefore an insect growth regulator is very important, especially when you are tackling the attack from diamondback moth. Another good product to be able to eliminate the diamondback moth is a product we call abamectin benzoate. That is an active ingredient. Abamectin benzoate is very good for those caterpillars, the bollworms, and even the diamondback moth. Then we have what we call the sucking pest. The sucking pest is what I mentioned, the aphids. I also mentioned about thrips. And here we have those pests attacking, and they usually hide under the leaf. And when they hide under the leaf, they suck sap from the plant. They suck sap from the leaves of the kales. And once they do this, you find the sap that could have used for development of this kale is used by this pest. And you find instead, since the leaf is under attack, instead of aligning very well so that it can trap light, you find it crinkled such that it is not growing anymore. And you find by so doing, the quality of that kale leaf is compromised. To eliminate this pest, we have several active ingredients that you can be able to deploy. One being imidacloprid, the other is acetamiprid, and also thiamethoxam. For thrips, it's very important to note because in some areas where it is there is high temperatures, you find that thrips can be very resistant. And apart from this mentioned product, you can be able to use an abamectin, because abamectin will be able to move to act in a mode of action we call translaminar, moving from the upper side of the leaf to the lower side of the leaf, thus eliminating the thrips. So if thrips becomes a challenge, then you can be able to deploy that active ingredient. The diseases that usually attack the plant at this stage and even in the other stages, we have black rot, we have ring spot, and also we have downy mildew. And these diseases is very important to control them, and especially controlling them in the initial stages, the starting stage. Once you control them during the starting stage, they won't have a problem for you during the other stages. Of course, it's very important to be able to note controlling some of these diseases, especially black rot, will depend on the seed selection, because we have some seeds, as mentioned during the seed selection stage, you have some seeds that are resistant to black rot, and therefore that selection will be very important for you. To control black rot, we have the aspect of seed selection, where we have selected the seed that is tolerant to this disease. The other aspect is use of copper-based products, copper-based fungicides. And the copper-based fungicide usually hamper the development of bacterial diseases, because black rot is a bacterial disease. And by so doing, you find you are going to have the disease developing very slowly, and you find the plant can be able to use the natural immunity to be able to suppress the disease. And therefore, once you have that control, it's able to help you. Black rot is a serious disease because it usually attacks the edges of the plant, and then at first they become yellowish, and then they continue down that leaf in a V-shaped version, and you find the whole leaf dries up, and therefore that is a total loss, and the plant may eventually die off. And in the earlier stages, you find that when you harvest, the part where you have harvested, the leaf starts becoming black because already the plant is already, the disease already developed in the plant. It becomes black, and even at some point, the stem may even start rotting and even start smelling because the disease has already attacked the plant. And you find at that moment, the only thing that can be done is uprooting that plant. And therefore, we don't want to go up to that stage, and therefore, that's why it's very important to be able to control those aspects from this stage. That is black rot. The other is the downy mildew and the ring spot. These diseases you can be able to control using active ingredient Difenoconazole. You can also use azoxystrobin. You can also use metalaxyl or cymoxanil. Those are the active ingredients that you're able to apply. And here, we usually recommend you have a regular spray regime, whereby you are going to combine a foliar fertilizer, the starter foliar fertilizer, the insecticide, according to the pest that you have scouted that is attacking, and also we have the fungicide, depending on the disease that you are going to see. We have an interval of around 10 days, and you'll be able to control all those aspects very well. The other aspect, of course, is watering. And watering is very important because at this moment, the plant needs a lot of water to be able to grow. And therefore, as we mentioned during the earlier stages, water should be sufficient. If maybe rain-fed is not available or sufficient, you can have irrigation water to be able to supplement that. And here, we say watering should be done in such a way that it is neither too much nor too little. You don't pull too little because the plant will not grow very well. You don't too much because the plant, once it is flooded, it will not be able to pick up nutrient and water very well. That is the aspects of watering. Now we have the aspect of weeding. Initially, from transplanting to 7 days to 14 days, since you had already prepared the land, then there will not be weeds. But of course, after 7 days of watering or rain-fed, then you're going to find that weeds are going to start germinating. By 21 days, you're going to find that weeds will be significant in the farm. And therefore, it is very important to be able to weed. You can use a handheld implement, a djembe, a hoe. You can be able to use that implement to be able to do the weeding as shown. From there, the plant, after 21 days, now the plant will transit this stage and we will now go to what we call now the vegetative stage. And we are going to see the management aspects deployed at the vegetative stage.